So riding in the rain, this would be a perfect place to do an intro on riding in the rain. Now, I should point out that I try and avoid the rain where possible, or where, practical. I won't stay in unless it's completely dry. But I'll go out in the rain, but I'm not a masochist as far as rain goes. I'll avoid it if I can. I won't go out in a spin if it's pissing down. But for commuting, yeah, sometimes you just can't help it. And I thought I'd miss this on the way home, but what can you do? Before I start on riding in the rain, actually, one video I'll point you to is the Roadcraft Nottingham video on riding in the rain, which has some really good pointers. He's actually a professional, so some of this will be stolen from what he's done. But this is just stuff that I've kind of picked up, as well as that stuff there. Right about now is when the rain would start. Intro music, do it. First thing, and I found this invaluable, is this came from the Roadcraft Nottingham video, is you see a lot of lads, and I've been on I've been riding behind other people on bikes, and they're avoiding all the hazards on the road as you're supposed to avoid, and that can involve a bit of gymnastics in and of itself. And you see people doing stuff like avoiding the arrows on the road that you see here occasionally, just an arrow saying this way, and stuff like manhole covers and stuff like that, and I don't think there's really much need for it once you're not doing any mad stunts on them. If you're not trying to accelerate, or if you're not trying to slow down, if you're going over them fairly handy and you're not doing anything with the throttle, you can just go over them. Now that doesn't apply to like non-standard stuff, like a horse is after doing a big fucking skid or all over the road, or there's gravel on it or something like that. Obviously you want to look ahead and see to get out of the way and stuff like that. But road furniture, as he calls it, you just kind of take it handy over it, don't go too hard, and you get to know some of the more horrible road furniture on your way. I think there was a video there a couple of weeks ago where I was going around that corner there onto Mackin Street, and there's about literally a fucking dozen manhole covers just littered around the place. And if you're leaned over on a manhole cover, obviously it's not going to kill you, but it's more likely if something's greasy or something's wet to end in tears. One thing that I actually ran into this morning is if you're coming to a stop, try not to come to a stop on one. So neither of your wheels is on one, or just as importantly, you're not going to put your foot down onto one, because if it's slippery and you're going to put your foot down and briefly put your weight on it, if your foot slips outwards, you can end up laying the bike down and doing yourself an injury. So having a look out for road furniture, but try not to freak out too much about it. Like, gone over that, no bother. I've seen people swerve out of the way, and the swerving is probably more dangerous. But yeah, if you see it in time, like I'm not seeing this shit coming out from under this car, and I'm not going to swerve out of the way of a fucking arrow on the ground. So let's go over. 1.5, not quite tip number 2, is gear. Now you might sort of say, I don't mind a bit of rain, or I don't mind being caught out in the rain if you're an outdoorsy type or something like that, but you probably mind being caught out in the rain when it's pissing up against you at 100 kph, and it can be very distracting. Like, it can be very, like, you're trying to concentrate and you're trying to watch for people who especially in Ireland, I don't know how it is elsewhere, but for all the rain we get, the minute we get a bit of rain, people just lose the fucking run of themselves and forget how to drive. So you have to be extra vigilant out in the rain for other people who don't know what they're fucking doing, and to deal with the fact that you mightn't know what you're fucking doing either. So gear helps in, I've got reasonable gear here, and if it rains I won't get wet, I'm pretty sure of that. So it's like sitting in a fucking armchair at home, and that just leaves you freed up to ride the bike, to concentrate on what you're doing. that you're not sort of getting the freezing cold fucking water pouring into the insides of your elbows and down your back and all that sort of shit. You know, obviously money is an issue for that kind of stuff, but I mean, you know, you go in a certain order. You get helmets and boots and whatever, and a jacket can seem like an afterthought waterproof wise, but you know, see what you can do around that. It really does help in more ways than one. Second thing, and I suppose should be the first thing, and this is something that I sort of struggled with for a while, is that you have to sort of deal with it in your own head. Like, I kind of, you know, I'm an engineer by trade, so I kind of look at stuff and at face value, like a bike leaned all the way over, like you see motocross bikes and shit leaned all the way over, or not motocross bikes, like race bikes leaned all the way over, and they're still sticking to the road. And I sort of look at that as, you know, a layman and say, well, that can't be fucking right. But you'd be amazed the road holding of the bike, mainly because all of your weight and the bike's weight is pressed down on the point where the bike reaches the road. Like, the weight isn't going anywhere else. If it was going, you know, over the other, if it was going off to the side, then you'd fall over. But all that weight is being pressed down, being levered down by forces and gravity onto that little patch. So there's an amazing amount of grip there. But then again, it's easy to rationalise that away in your head. But then you're out on the road and you're sort of going, oh Jesus, I'm leaning over. Especially in the rain, you know. What was my point? My point was, like, pay attention to the sort of the fear reflex, like this, not the fear reflex, but the kind of, if you're looking out and you're going like, I'm going to be fucking bricking it riding around in that, just take it easy. Like, don't feel like you have to go out and fucking go out in a downpour and piss around like you normally do, because if you're nervous in particular conditions, be they rain or wind or that kind of thing, like, push yourself a bit, but don't do anything mad dangerous. Like, don't feel like you have to be all macho about it and be like, yeah, it's a better rain, I'll fucking piss around normally, because, you know, you're still learning. It's cause of experience and it's cause of knowing yourself and the bike, and it just takes time to do. So for the first while I was on the bike, I didn't go out in the rain. I kind of avoided it. And my first winter on the bike, which was last winter, I just kind of, if it was going to be more than a little dribbly, I'd sort of leave the bike at home, which seems like a bit sort of wussy, but fuck you, buddy. I do my thing and you do your thing. Another thing is, if you're going to make a fucking video about riding in the rain, do it when you're pretty sure it's going to rain. You know, wait till it actually starts raining to do it, because otherwise you look like a fucking pleb. Come on, rain, fucking do it. See, I wasn't lying. It's raining. You all see it, right? And of course, the minute I do a video on riding in the rain, the forecast says it isn't to rain for another week. So maybe I should do a video on winning the lottery.